Hey guys, Candice from Crema Coffee Garage here. Today we're going to be taking a closer look at another one of the awesome alternate brewing products that we sell here at Crema Coffee Garage. This is the Delter Coffee Press. The Delter Coffee Press is a relatively new product to the market and has been closely compared to the ever-popular AeroPress. So naturally we've got a lot of messages and requests asking us to check it out. So let's start by looking at the design. Not too dissimilar from an AeroPress. On the top here it does have one unique feature that's different. This is a rubber stopper, which I believe is intentional to measure out your coffee grounds, but it's only a 6-gram measure. So today we're going to be using 12 grams, which is a double use, which it does come in handy, but we're going to do it a different way today. Like the AeroPress, you have your top plunger piston. You also have the brewing chamber. And then you've got the filter basket, the plastic filter basket that goes on the bottom, but then there's also the spot for the paper filter. Now, where it does differ from the AeroPress, however, is this seal that's on the bottom of the Delter. Now, this seal covers the whole bottom of the brewing chamber and has these little jet-like sealed holes, which almost creates something very similar to a shower screen that would be used when extracting espresso. So let's jump into expressing our filter coffee. So first and foremost, we're going to want to place our filter basket on top of our glass or our server of choice. You can use just a plain latte glass like I'm using, or you can use one of Hario's servers or your mug at home, whatever you choose. Inside the plastic filter basket, you'll see the paper filter. Firstly, we're going to use our pre-boiled water from our kettle and we're going to soak the paper filter. There's a couple of reasons why we do this. Firstly, it enables the paper filter to stick to the plastic filter. It then also enables any residual paper fibers that are left on the paper filter to wash through into the cup below. And then finally, that water that does pass through into the cup, that allows the cup to heat up. And therefore, later on when we're extracting, we're not extracting hot coffee into a cold cup. Then we're going to set that one aside. Next, we're going to want our plunger to be placed inside the brewing chamber, and I'm going to do that upside down because we need it up this way to pop the coffee in next. Now, ground coffee. So when you buy the Delter Coffee Press, it specifies that you will need 12 grams of ground coffee. However, I couldn't actually find where it specified what coarseness you'll need. So here at Crema, we recommend that you use a medium coarseness grind, which is what we would use for an AeroPress. And this is just a step up from the espresso grind. So you're going to want to pour your ground coffee into the top of the brewing chamber like so. And of course, as freshly ground coffee as you can get. It does make all the difference. Next, we just want to give that one a little bit of a shake. We want to level it out so the coffee grounds are nice and even on the top, and therefore when it extracts, it will be an even extraction. Next, you're going to want to take your plastic filter, just give that a bit of a shake just in case there's any residual hot water there. And then you're going to pop it back on top of the brewing chamber and make sure you screw that on nice and tight. We don't want any water escaping. And then that little bit of residual water that you've got there heating up your cup, you're just going to want to pour that out. So then we're going to flip this one upside down, back on top of our glass, like so. And now we're ready for the water. I'm using the Brewista temperature-controlled kettle. These are amazing for so many reasons. It can set the temperature of your water to any degree Celsius that you choose, and then it can hold it there. If you have your water too hot, you can be at risk of burning the coffee, and that's going to really play effect when it comes to the end result. So I've set this water here for 92 degrees. This is about the perfect brewing temperature. If you don't have a temperature controlled kettle at home, one with the control spout as well is fantastic. Of course, you can pop on over to cremacoffeegarage.com.au and shop our marvelous selection. There's some really pretty looking kettles there. However, in a pinch, you can use your regular kettle at home. Just simply bring it up to boiling point and then set it aside for about 5 minutes. and that way it'll slowly drop the temperature to a really good brewing temperature. We're going to pour up to the 200 line, and it actually says fill next to it. Delta have made it really easy. You'll notice that at no point do we have to weigh the water going in, which is super helpful. The only point that you'll want to weigh something is your coffee at the start. Lastly, this little guy that we were talking about earlier, the black silicone little rubber topper, that was the scoop for the coffee grounds, twofold, it sits on top. Now, this is really important, and you don't think of it until you're actually physically doing it and you're plunging down. Hot steam coming up on your palm is the last thing that you want. So firstly, you're going to want to pull it up until it reaches the 50 ml mark. So you'll see as I drew the plunger up, it released water into the bottom chamber. Now you're going to slowly press that down. Now, the reason that we've done this is we're creating what's called a pre-infusion. And this means that that first 50 ml of water is going to evenly coat the ground coffee. And then that will then cause us to have a more even extraction when we push the remainder of the water through the coffee. So lastly, we're going to pull our plunger all the way up so that now all of our water here is below the plunger. So now that that's all the way up, we're going to push the remaining water down into the glass. And I recommend not being too forceful with it. Just kind of work with the natural resistance of the Delta. Now, the coffee I'm using today is Crema's own altitude blend. So it's got those really beautiful chocolatey, nutty flavors. It's not overly strong, and it works perfect in this filter brew style. Now that we've pushed all the water through, don't be tempted to do what you would normally do with an AeroPress if you're familiar, and that is to flick it back up the other way around. If you do so with the Delta, any residual hot water that's sitting down here at the bottom will flick and run down your arm, and we don't want you burning yourself. So you simply need to just pick it up and pop it off to the side. That's it, guys. Quite a simple process, and you're left with a really delicious alternate brew coffee, filter coffee in your own home. The Delta is travel friendly, it's super lightweight and really easy to clean. You simply need to pull it back apart the way you put it together, empty those coffee grounds, and then you just rinse it with some hot water. Feel free to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about the Delter Coffee Press. Are you an AeroPress fan? Are you a Delta fan? Have we converted you? It doesn't matter to us, guys. We just want to show you really simple, easy, travel friendly coffee making that you can do right in your own home or when you're on the go. So while you're here at our YouTube channel, don't forget to hit subscribe, but also hit the notification bell. And then that way, as soon as a new video comes out, you will be notified. And while you've got your phone out, head on over to our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, send us a message. Let us know what you thought about the Delta. Give us some suggestions of what you would like us to review next. And of course, don't forget to head on over to cremacoffeegarage.com.au. You can shop all the products I spoke about today, AeroPress, the awesome Brewista temperature control kettle, and of course the Delta. Thanks for watching, guys.